This will be a series about a man whose mission in life is to make Satyug. So what is Satyug? Satyug is a Indian or a Bharatiya structure of time. Here in India, all the time is divided into 4 groups. It starts like, we have this concept of a Kal Chakra or the circle of time. It's like a wheel of time where the time starts with certain characteristics and then it goes to another characteristic, then another characteristic, then another characteristics, and back to the normal. Just like it is very easy to understand when you think of day and night. I'm not talking about those places in the world where there's a little distinction between day and night or things like that, but I'm talking about a perfect situation. Like in India, we have the day, and before that there is morning twilight, then it is dawn, then the day, then noon, then afternoon, and then evening, dusk, night. So this circle is called the circle of time. So if we take it in a broader aspect, there is Satyug and there is Kalyug. Kalyug is these times which we have now, where it is more of darkness and less of light. So opposite of that is more of light and less of darkness. And when I say darkness and light, it is not about what you see, but it is about the situations of the world, the beauty, the goodness. Like Leo Tolstoy said, the kingdom of God or kingdom of heaven, or people have their own ways of saying things. But when I got this mission of Satyug in my life, it was because I am an Indian. I have heard about other cultures. I've heard about Leo Tolstoy, then and other people from America, Thoreau, Walden. I've read that, and there had been many people in the world in the last centuries and all around, where people are somehow trying to make the change, like Michael Jackson would say. That change from what is happening. In a way, we can say that everything is fine and all is well and all is good and everything. But then there is a reality. The reality of the darkness within people, within their actions, within the governments, within the rulers, how people just practice the darkness way of life without even clenching. So I did not want to use this kingdom of heaven or kingdom of God or heaven, Jannat, Swarg and all these things, because somehow there were a lot of negative things which I thought a Satyug would not have. So a Satyug is the time of truth, time of love, time of having faith in the goodness of me and the entire world. So that is Satyug. So between Satyug and Kalyug, according to the Sanatan Dharma, according to the Indian Dharma, Dharma is not just deities. Dharma is, we call it Dharma, but the people from non-Indian part of the world, they always add a to everything Indian, so it becomes Dharma. Just like it could have become Parisa or Londona or a, New Yorker, Los Angeles or something like that. But just for Indians, calling Paris Parisa is as foolish as calling Dharma as Dharma, Yoga as Yoga, and Karma as Karma. But then let's use those words to make things clear. So this in Satyug, it is the time of being truthful to soul, true to soul. And this true to soul thing is being a Satwik. So true to soul, then true to your heart. Many times we feel like doing something, but because of the society, because of the job, because of many other things, we just have to do something else. Because a person who is truthful to his Dharma, his spiritual and eternal duties, that person would be a Satwik. So even there are three kinds of people in the whole humanity. One is Satwik, as I talked about, people who are promoting goodness, people who want good things in the world and in life. And the opposite of them are Tamasic. Tamasic are the dark-minded people. They do things with ulterior motives. Even many people tend to be good. Many people are actually good within, but because of money, because of many other reasons, they end up doing something which is darkness, which is spreading darkness in the world. Many times we don't even come to know that we had been promoting and producing a lot of darkness in the world. So these are two extremes, and in between Satwik and Tamasic is the Rajasic. I would call them the hypocrites. They would be Tamasic and behave like Satwiks. They would be Satwiks. No, you cannot be Satwik and behave like somebody else. But they would according to the time, according to their need, according to their greeds, according to whatever, they tend to be Satwik, and then according to their needs they tend to be Tamasic. Which I feel anybody in the world, like I remember Jesus Christ has said, do not be hypocrite, something he said, and it meant to stay away from hypocrisy. And these hypocrites are, I know it is very controversial, but since I'm a Satwik, I would say that hypocrites are those people who are, who are in the middle path. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes this, sometimes that, this and changing, keep on changing and keep on, you cannot trust people who are Rajasics, or people who are in the middle path. As a Satwik, I feel either you are Satwik or you are Tamasic, or you are as a Satwik, I would feel it is better to be either good or bad. There's no middle path. I know there was a time on earth, that time middle path was necessary, who knows. But now middle path is not necessary, because we are in the end times of Kali Yuga, the times of darkness. Many people may say that it is not the end times and things like that, but I would like to tell myself that it is the end times, because if I tell myself, if I convince myself that it is the end times of the darkness, and after the end time of the darkness finishes, the good times or the bright times or the day starts, it will be easier to do something. It will be easier to, live a life with a conviction that yes, the times of darkness are finishing, the times of darkness are ending. Now, if we do something good, if I believe in goodness, if I am a Satwik, if I believe in Satyug, then, and if I do my actions as a Satyug, as a Satwik, then the good times will come. Then all the good things will happen. So it is good to believe that it is the end times of Kali Yuga and the start times of Satyug, the start time of the day, and the goodness for the world, for humanity, for all the living beings, for everything will start. So my work is actually that. But like I was talking about this Satyug and Kali Yuga, and in between Satyug and Kali Yuga there was, after Satyug there was Treta Yuga, and there was, after Treta Yuga it was Dwapar Yuga, and then after the Dwapar Yuga finished, the Kali Yuga started. So all these yugs have got a different time frame and different percentage of goodness and a percentage of not goodness, or the opposite of goodness happens. We will talk about it later. Like in India, we always say this thing because we are not slaves of one book or one ideology or one path or one way. So we always say this thing that, like there was this great Indian sage called Ramakrishna Paramhansa. He said, "Joto mot, toto pot." Like as many number of opinions, as many number of ways. Because what is important is the destination. We can continue walking on a particular way when we are not used to that way. Like for example, if a person who is not used to hot sun, he's used to snow, and if he's asked to walk on that way which is full of sun and no shades, it is like 40 degrees or 50 degrees, or it's like walking in the desert, he cannot walk that path. There must be so different paths and different, it is important. Even if many cultures, many religions would say that no, you have to walk this way only and that is the only way. It is like giving all the patients, a doctor is giving all the patients one medicine. So I will tell you now about this making Satyug. What would be the 3 things which we would practice, which while making Satyug, these 3 things which are essential. Like one is, what is being true to soul, being a Satwik. The second thing is, what is the opposite of Satwik? What are the things, the ideologies, the feelings, the actions which are opposite to Satwik? And the third, what are my actions, my karma? What are my Sanatan Dharma? Means Sanatan means eternal, Dharma means duties. What are they which would make me an instrument in bringing all these good times, all these day, all these beauty for humanity, for the society? So what will be these things? I'll try to talk to you every day about these 3 things, about my struggles with these 3 things. And if you believe in making this world a beautiful place, like really not just singing about it, not just talking about it, but doing some actions. Like, it is not a new thing for me. It is not that I'm going to start something. Now it is 2017, it's October, I think it's 15th of October. I started my actions, but before actions there was a lot of preparation, a lot of motivation, a lot of preparing myself and things like that. But I started my action because Satwik is a person who does his my karma, does his my Sanatan Dharma. So I started my actions in 1996. So in August of 1996. So it is like 21 years. So I had been doing it like 24/7 all these years.